Hey folks, Jimmy Cavanaugh here, joined by Max Gabovich from Memorial Stadium, the press box after a pretty disheartening loss to the Wisconsin Badgers here today. 62-14 was the final, Max, a really ugly game. Let's start on the ground because that was the story of the game, bar none. IU outgained by more than 500 yards. I'm not misspeaking. Wisconsin put up more than 500 yards on the ground. Just talk about what we saw from them today. How did they make this IU defense look so bad?
It was amazing. 526 yards on the ground, a school record, 8.8 yards a carry,
Right
and
about there, yeah.
and it wasn't like IU's defense wasn't getting to them. They just couldn't finish tackles, and there were defenders all over, and they just could not finish tackles. And I'm not sure why that was.
It was rough. That was something that Adam Plogel talked about. Larry Black discussed it. David Cooper discussed it. But when you saw what IU was trying to do defensively, and the fact that it just didn't work, it made it all that much more frustrating. Because at the very end of the first half, it looked like IU was going to go into halftime with only a 10-point deficit. It was 17-7. Wisconsin's just trying to run out the clock, and then boom, 69 yards from James White.
And that's never good. They're trying to run out the clock. They really weren't looking for anything. He ran straight through the line and had a wide open look for the end zone. And when your defense is playing that bad, I think that's a pretty good win if they go into halftime down 10. But that touchdown really turned everything.
Yeah, because in the second half, they did whatever they wanted. Wisconsin obviously finishes with a school record. Most rushing yards put up by a Big Ten team since Indiana back in 1993, the glory days of Indiana football, per se. But we'll look at the other side. We'll look at the offensive side for the Hoosiers. There was a lot of stuff that they really struggled to do on the offensive side that didn't take the stress off of their defense. Because, Max, they had plenty of opportunities to capitalize. The defense actually had a solid stretch in the middle of the second quarter. They forced a Wisconsin field goal, 3 straight punts, and still only 7 points on the board. Not taking advantage of that.
And the second quarter was really good defensively. The rest of the game was terrible, but that second quarter they played pretty solid defense, at least until that last play. But you saw the quarterback change, which we've seen throughout the season. Sudfeld comes in, a 3-and-out, and then a fumble. They go back to Kaufman, and neither of them can seem to get it going.
Yeah, and that's the problem because you look at this IU team from the very beginning of the season. Trey Roberson was pegged as the starter, and both Cam Kaufman and Nate Sudfeld came in as backups for a reason. Roberson was obviously better. He won the job. And Kevin Wilson has talked about these guys being backups, performing like starters throughout the year. This is the first time that neither of those guys really stepped up to the task.
Really, we've seen throughout the season one guy will play well, and either Kaufman doesn't play well and Sudfeld comes in and picks it up, or Kaufman just plays well. We might see Sudfeld for a little while there, but typically one of them is on their game, and that was not the case today. And really no running game either. I mean, really no offense.
That's another really good point because I said earlier, it's not just because Wisconsin ran it really well. IU finished with a little over 60 yards. Isaiah Roundtree was the leading rusher. Stephen Houston really nowhere to be found. And you cannot go against Wisconsin being one-dimensional in the pass game without a run game. And we saw that today.
And amazingly, Wisconsin was able to be one-dimensional, and they didn't have to change anything. I mean, they threw 7 passes. They completed 4. Amazingly, one of the completions was for a touchdown, and then they just run all over the place. They didn't have to throw it.
With their third-string quarterback, mind you. That's the ultimate luxury, to have your third guy out there, not needing to throw, just handing it off, letting your backs do all the work. Let's switch topics a little bit because we talked about both Nate Sudfeld and Cam Kaufman. Trey Roberson wasn't walking through that door. Today, neither did the fans until an hour into the game. If you looked out at the Memorial Stadium crowd at the kickoff, this place was maybe half full, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. And the final announced attendance, a little more than 43,000, a little less than 10,000 short. of what this place is capable of holding. Where were the fans today?
It's disappointing. It really is disappointing. This was a big game, and we've heard throughout the past couple weeks that IU still had a chance to go to the Rose Bowl. Obviously, it was a little bit of a stretch, but they controlled their destiny. If they went out before this week, they're in the Big Ten championship, and this is the last home game, and no fans here. It's disappointing.
That's the thing that really gets me, and I'm going to go off here for a second because obviously the game didn't turn out the way that people expected it to. IU was not expected to be blown out this game. They were 7-point underdogs. They started last week against Iowa as 3-point underdogs and were eventually favored because people started betting on them. This was not a game that IU was planning on being blown out in. Wisconsin starts their third-string quarterback, and there's a whole bunch of national hype all throughout the week. And fans can't be bothered to show up on time. Fans want a big-time college football program here at IU. The athletic department's spending money on it. They've spent money on a coaching staff. We're seeing recruits come in. There are some big-time recruits in the building today, and I couldn't blame them if they decided that, hey, if I'm going to come to a school where the biggest game in the past 10 to 20 years of IU football is lightly attended, maybe halfway full at kickoff, and people are showing up an hour after the game starts, maybe I want to take my talent somewhere else. Maybe this isn't a place that is meant to have a good football program. If the fan support's not going to be better, I don't know why you come here.
Absolutely. To have a good college team, you have to have fans supporting through the tough times, because a lot of what they do is based on their budget and based on how many fans they're bringing in. And if they're not bringing fans in, why would they spend money on the football program?
Exactly, and it's something that Tom Crean has talked about during his time trying to bring the IU basketball program back. It's something that Kevin Wilson is obviously going to have to see a little better, an effort from the fans. He needs to give them something to be hopeful about. But the IU football team has made some strides. They're not where they want to be, but they're a lot further along than they were this point last year. You can only hope that continues to improve. One more thing before we go, we'll take a look ahead. The last game here at Memorial Stadium, but 2 more to go still. They go on the road to Penn State and finish up the season at Purdue for the Old Oaken Bucket. How do these guys bounce back from a loss today?
Penn State's a really good team. That's going to be a tough game to win for the Hoosiers, but they can still be bowl eligible if they win these last 2 games. I don't know if they're getting a bowl at 6-6, maybe, but it's a big win if they can win at Penn State. They've never beaten Penn State, 0-15, and that's a good football team. They've been through a lot, but we've seen they started off the season a little bit rocky, and they've been really solid in the Big Ten.
And so there's still something to play for, folks. Everybody knows about the Old Oaken Bucket. These guys want to be the first team to beat Penn State, and they have the chance to do that. We'll see how the season plays out, but from Memorial Stadium, that's all it's going to be. You won't get the chance to see these guys again this year. We'll see them again next year. Hopefully, the next game they play here is a little better than this one. That's all the time we have for Max Gabovich. I'm Jimmy Cavanaugh saying thanks for watching. Good night. Travel well. We'll catch you folks again. Take care.